outside this morning. We've laid out 2 dust sheets for me to bring some paintings down and try and get a layout for a gallery wall. This will help me get organised ahead of hanging for the June exhibition. So fingers crossed, I can have a play and photograph what goes down that I can repeat on the wall. Rocket looks bemused. Bemused and amused, probably. What is she doing now? In amongst it. What a challenge. I've never hung. I've never imagined hanging a wall like this. But this is about the space, approximately, that I'll have. And I really want to make the most of it. So I've challenged myself to hang different frames, different coloured frames, mix of colours in work, abstract work, more semi-abstract pieces. I'm even going to drop in a few portrait pieces. So it really is a general mix. It tells you a lot about you, who you are, I think. I would ordinarily really want to see some symmetry. I don't mind a bit of a quirk, but this is very new ground for me. So I'll keep going. There are some more things to come in, but it makes me realise, it makes me think about what I really need to work on and get finished up, and the things that I can put to one side. So that is very, very helpful. I feel much better because I've printed out my plan of action. That just makes me feel so much less anxious. We have a trip coming up, and I don't want to come back from a holiday and be running around like a headless chicken not knowing what to do. So a little bit of planning is a good thing. I know now what I need to get done. I need to push on, and I need to fill in my gaps in my gallery wall with some small pieces. So I'll press on with those, definitely. That's going to be the next job. I've got 1 or 2 things that really need finishing up, and I can think more, I can be relaxed and think about the other little idea that's been running around in my head, and that is taking away in the backpack. I'm going to make or have a hard, loose front and back cover, and I'm going to take an assortment of papers, A5, 8x8, watercolour paper, 300 GSM paper, thinner paper, some painted papers. I'm going to take myself a little selection this time, knowing that they're loose and that I can work. I don't know what I'll be working on, but you always need something to lean on, which obviously is the beauty of a hard sketchbook cover. So I can start to pull together some nice pieces of paper and make that a little project. So I'm excited for that. Right, so now then, have I even said hello? No. Hello and welcome to this week. So I think to start with then, I'll work on these 2 pinks that I've got in front of me. So, what do I want to go with? What do I want to go with? I could come in here with some green, I'm thinking. Let's mix a green. I always feel like mixing green. I've got a primary yellow and a brilliant blue. nothing much to look at the moment, just as beginning and just trying to get a feel for the colour. Obviously the complementary red and the green. Pink is a tint of red, so I could go in with a paler green maybe. I like the black and white for the contrast. I might keep the colours as simple as that. My thinking is something now printed, and the first thing I've got on the table, I'm just going to tear a piece of that. I'm being really lazy here. I could get the gel plate and get a much better result, but I'm feeling impatient this morning. I don't know why. I do know why actually. I've had to battle the traffic this morning for an appointment, and it was gridlock. I was late, and I'd rather be in here. All I'm trying to do here, I haven't got a plan other than what can I put down on here to create some interest as I start to build up the layers. I've put a little bit more down, just putting anything down casually. I'm working all around on other things while these are drying. I put them over here just to see them off the table. I can see different things as well. When you move, even a small little thing like this, when you move it and get distance from it, I can see a way forward. I can see the next move. I'm nearly there on pink chair. I decided to put some greenery over here. So just little bits, and then I still haven't glossed him, so he will need a gloss. It's lunchtime now, and then I might get back up this afternoon. I have had a little bit of stuff. I have had, oh Lord, too much stuff. I've had a little bit of progress. Well, I put that there. I had a play with working on something to take on holiday. I deconstructed, this is very easy peasy, I deconstructed a sketchbook, a very, very old sketchbook. It had a bit of water damage, so it very easily came apart last night. And I removed the front and the back cover. You can see it just peeled away very easily. So that card could be the back of, there's not much left in this sketchbook, so it's that kind of weight of card that you can then cover very easily. You could use your hockey tape to stick that down, or the glue, Mod Podge, whatever glue you use. So you've got something firm, and then basically paper that fits. The paper that is a little bit big doesn't bother me because I can let that pop out the side. And then I took 2 pages from a sketchbook that is redundant and some very muddy work, and worked some G's on the front to wrap, to make a really simple wrap. String, I'll just wrap the string around it, and that is all I think I need. I've got something firm to lean on if I'm out and about. Obviously I'll put quite a bit more paper, well, a lot more paper in there, and it also means that if I find paper when I'm away, I can pop it in, and I'm really happy. I'm very pleased with that. It was, yeah, really, really good, and inspired a little bit by when I was rummaging around in old sketchbooks. I found this handmade concertina that I took to Dorset last year. So I don't want a concertina, I want loose sheets. And I can keep working on the front cover if I feel like it. I will, in fact, now I'm sure I've got other old sketchbooks. I might make a bigger version and find some nice papers to cover the front and the back, deconstructed covers. So yeah, really pleased with that. Very simple. And I think that will work for me. That will just slot into the back of the backpack because there's no other luggage. And or I can just carry that around at the ready. I found a bit of board. It's got one or two marks on it, card rather. I'll glue those two sheets together. The first thing I've picked up is some PVA glue. That makes it quite firm. Now I'm wondering about wrapping it in canvas. Right, I'm going to go down to the house and I'm going to see if I can find an offcut of canvas. I found some better glue and an offcut of canvas. There would be enough here. If I'm careful, there will be enough for two. You could measure this, but I haven't got the patience to measure anything. So I'm just gonna wing it. And then I'm going to bring it over. I'll glue my card. Right, place that on. And then I think what I'll do is leave that. I'll put some weights on it, some heavy books. Let's just make sure I know. Oh, it's in the house. Somebody said the other day, Gaynor, get a brayer. And I have got one, but it's in the house. So just pushing out any crease that might be there. I'll glue it all around. Right, let's just hope that holds. I'm trying to think where they all are. Morning, everyone. Yeah, it's stuck down really nicely. That has. So, oh, lovely. That means this morning I'll just snip off some of these raw ridges, threads, and I think the next thing to do then is to get some gesso. It was the first thing I thought this morning when I woke up. Oh, has it all stuck down? I've never used this System 3, Dale Rowney System 3 acrylic gesso primer. So apron. So I'm going to give it a try. It's quite a nice consistency. I could, yeah, my other little voice is saying, yeah, but Gaynor, you could have just bought a couple of canvas boards. And I could, and I have them, but it wouldn't be anything like as much fun, and it won't be as special. Right, that's one nice coat. Put him on the woodies to dry. Oh, that makes me think, actually. Somebody said recently that in the States, I'm sure it was in America, that you don't have woodies, and they're Stabilo. It says a woody, 3-in-1, and they're really a child's crayon, and they're just lovely. I love them. Every tube of black paint seems to be empty this morning. No, it's nowhere near enough there. I seem to have enough to get it all over myself, but nothing to come from the tube. I have one decent tube of black paint, so I'll order some. Right, I'm going to try and be more gentle with this. And that's pressing out, that's printing much better. That's much better. So being less heavy-handed and use the gel plate and the roller gives a better, we know that, it gives a better result. I quite like that against the green. Oh, that's quite nice. Quite like that. Well, it's nearly, you know what I'm going to say, it's nearly lunchtime, and this is nearly dry, but I want it to be absolutely bone dry before I go in with another coat. But I'm really rather pleased with that. So I've put down the beginnings of 2 more smalls. I'm working on some cards. I had a bit of breakthrough, a bit of progress painting some cards last night, and I haven't touched cards for such a long time. Playing with the gel plate, I do love that thing. I never really know what it is I want to do with it, but I rather like that. That will make a really nice ground for something quite strong. So I'm going to let that just dry completely and then put a painting on top of that, I think. And that might make a nice something to go in a frame under glass. I'm trying to keep in good housekeeping. I'm trying to have a sweep down at the end of every session, and so far, touch wood, I'm getting in a better situation with the paints. The paints are going away where they should every day. So I'll have a quick clear down now, and that will make me feel so much better when I walk in the next time. Coming in this afternoon, things do feel much better because I had a little tidy up. So I've got to try and maintain that habit. At the end of every session, have a quick sweep down. Good news, yesterday afternoon, I put the final coat of gloss on this one. I don't know whether you can see there is a sheen to it, but it's nothing really leery. I put the edges on it and that's a nice feeling. He's done. So the frame's clean and that's good. I'll drop some photos in of the cards. These were cards that were left a long while ago. They were half started. That's what I'm trying to say. They were half started, and now I've tuned up the colour, and I think they're better for it. I've got to keep the card momentum going for June, because it's nice to have a selection of everything. The first thing I want to do is put my this is all lovely and dry, really dry, so I will get my next coat of gesso on there, and then after the gesso it will literally be a couple of coats of white acrylic. While that's wet, I always take a notebook with me when we travel. All of them have got covers. I've been going through my gel plate papers, looking just to see if there's anything. I can work on that. I might work on that a little bit. Yeah, I could go in with my last tube of black paint. Okay, I'm going to continue to play with these notebook covers. Got a bit carried away, like you do, and I've got one coat, two coats of gesso and one coat of white acrylic on my boards. So I'm really pleased about that. That just came from nowhere. Deconstructing a sketchbook. So you could make smaller ones. You end up with odds and ends of canvas, and they're not quite enough to wrap around a meatier frame. I'm loving. I have to say, I am having a thing with the canvas boards at the moment. I'm loving this 8x8 size to work with alongside the bigger pieces of work I've got going on, and I don't quite know where the colours are coming from, but they're just flooding at me at the moment. I don't know if I think it must be the vibrancy of nature and spring. As I look out the window on the top of the green hedge, all that amazing spring green growth. So I'm loving the way the colours are going at the moment on these. So as always, more to go. Next week, hopefully, where will we be next week? Hopefully away next week in, not Porto. We are going to Lisbon in Portugal, so I'm very excited. I've never been. Fingers crossed it will be warm, and excited, not knowing what to expect art-wise, and excited to see different things and be inspired, and hope that the joy that I have had from these pots that came back from Seville, that I can return from Lisbon with something equally exciting. So I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing and all that really good stuff. I love it.